Hey guys, Thrasher here, and we just got our first official look at the Nintendo Switch 2. Bigger screen, new Joy-Con design, and even some rumored upscaling tech. Sounds great, right? Some people are worried about the power of the console, but do graphics really matter anymore? Did they ever? I'm going to break down everything we know so far about the Switch 2 and explain why, in the grand scheme of gaming, resolution and pixel counts are the least important part of this new system. Let's talk about it right now. First up, let's run through the key details we've gleaned from the Nintendo reveal and various leaks. So as you can see to my side here, the system size, it's going to be about 14% larger than the original, which puts it around 4.5 inches high and 10.7 inches long. That means more real estate for the upgraded Joy-Cons and the rumored improved kickstand. The screen itself, we're looking at approximately an 8-inch LCD. That's a jump from the 6.2 inches on the launch Switch, and even a notch up from the 7-inch OLED model that released in 2021. Then if you look at the CPU and GPU, it's believed to be running the Nvidia Tegra T239, comparable to like a PS4 or an Xbox One level of power. Sure, it's not quite next gen, but it's likely going to lean on the upscaling tech to reach the 4K docked, and we'll talk about why the actual graphics part really doesn't matter that much. And then the storage and RAM, leaks point to about 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of built-in UFS 3.1 storage, plus support for faster microSD express cards. This means quicker load times, more space for digital downloads, considerably more space for digital downloads. And then ports and features. It's going to have 2 USB-C ports, a headphone jack, thank you Nintendo, and a memory card slot under the kickstand like the original Switch, but with some user-friendly tweaks. Now, that's the official news, right? But let's dig a little deeper. Because while everyone's debating whether it'll finally output native 4K, I think that's missing the forest for the trees. Let's be honest, Nintendo's track record shows us something crucial. Their consoles succeed because they focus on gameplay innovation, not graphical fidelity. You can go all the way back to the Wii. Sure, it wasn't an HD powerhouse, but the motion controls and accessible library brought everyone, grandma, your little cousin, even your neighbor who never touched a console, into the gaming fold. If you go back and look at the Wii, it revolutionized motion controls, it sold over 100 million units, and it made bowling in your living room the coolest thing ever. Then you look at the Wii U. There were a few stumbles there, but the second screen concept was bold, and it allowed us to experience games in a different way, showing us that it doesn't always just have to be a controller and a screen. Then they moved into the Switch, which was a portable home console hybrid that breathed new life into titles like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, a game that redefined open world exploration even at 900p resolution docked. The point is, people rave about Mario Odyssey, Animal Crossing, and Splatoon for how fun, inventive, and replayable they are. Not because they rival photorealistic AAA blockbusters on other platforms. In fact, I'll take it a step further and make the statement that you've never heard someone say a game was great because of the visuals. Never. There have been games with amazing gameplay loops that also have great visuals which add on extra layers to the experience, but never the other way around. Perfect examples of amazing gameplay loops that trump any need for even reasonable graphics are Stardew Valley with its simple aesthetics but incredibly addictive gameplay, Among Us, which was a smash hit with some of the simplest character models in gaming at the time, and then the infinite creativity of Minecraft, which really created a brand new subgenre of games even though it might have the worst graphics of all three. To make the point even more obvious, we can point to the games like Rise Son of Rome, which had amazing graphics for the time, but the gameplay loop was very shallow and incredibly repetitive. Or we can look at a game like Ancestors. Visually, it's a stunning game, and the core gameplay isn't awful. The problem is, it was incredibly repetitive. That's the real key. You need a strong core gameplay mechanic or mechanics, and then you need to be able to expand it into a set of features that creates a gameplay loop which feels varied over time. If you only have one or the other or neither, graphics will never carry the game. And even if you have terrible graphics, if you have the other two important things, the graphics won't matter. If you ask me, the one more round factor trumps everything else. It's the reason we keep booting up Super Smash Bros. With friends or re-exploring Hyrule after the credits roll. That addictive gameplay loop is what fosters replayability, not Ultra HD rendering or next-gen lighting. There are 3 main areas that Nintendo excels at specifically. First up, multiplayer and co-op. Nintendo's always excelled at local multiplayer. Even the simplest art style is overshadowed by the shared fun of couch co-op. Next is user-friendly features. Whether it's sharing Joy-Cons with a buddy or flipping out a built-in stand for tabletop mode, these hardware choices expand how you can play, adding layers to the extendability of the gameplay loop itself. Finally, innovative mechanics. Rumors of a new Joy-Con design or better motion tracking matter more than raw CPU power if they spark new ways to play. That's how Switch 2 might truly shine. through new functionalities that keep us hooked longer. In the new reveal, it appears as though the Joy-Cons can be used as mice. Now, that isn't 100% confirmed, but the idea that you can use a single piece of equipment to interface with games in multiple ways really allows developers to get incredibly creative with their user interfaces and experiences. Now, plenty of folks are already complaining, why can't Nintendo match the PS5's raw horsepower? But here's the reality, Nintendo doesn't need to. Their audience rarely demands cutting-edge realism. They come for iconic franchises, unique features, and instant fun. Even the rumored upscaling tech to reach 4K is just icing on the cake. Nintendo has never been about chasing resolution bragging rights. What they do care about are timeless art directions like Wind Waker or Mario Odyssey, which still look gorgeous years later, thanks to stylized visuals rather than going for extreme fidelity. Another important point is lower tech equals lower barrier to entry. A less intimidating spec sheet often means a friendlier price point, opening the door for more families and casual gamers. Finally, they care about innovation over iteration. Each new console from Nintendo tries to change how we engage with games, motion controls, touchscreens, portability, versus merely upgrading frame rates. They're trying to create new experiences rather than the model of just iterate on Call of Duty with 10% extra pixels each time. Yet, it's considerably riskier from a business perspective, but fortune favors the bold. To be fair, if you love hyper-realistic AAA titles, you might feel some FOMO when the Switch 2 can't run certain next-gen third-party games at max settings. That's understandable, but with the expanded RAM and rumored improvements, it should handle more ambitious projects than the OG Switch ever could, plus the convenience of playing on the go. In fact, that's the whole idea of the upgrade. It was never about increasing the graphics themselves, it's so developers can create even more immersive experiences, and in some cases, that means complex systems that need more computing and more memory. So there you have it, the Nintendo Switch 2 is shaping up to be bigger, slightly more powerful, and packed with new features. But the real story isn't about 4K textures or fancy ray tracing, it's about whether Nintendo can keep delivering the addictive gameplay we can't put down. Nintendo's magic comes from creating experiences that invite everyone to play and replay, not from chasing the highest resolution. If the Switch 2 sticks to the philosophy of fun first, it'll likely be another smash hit no matter how many pixels it pushes. What do you think? Are you excited about the Switch 2's bigger screen and rumored upscaling, or would you rather see Nintendo pump out insane graphics to match the other consoles? Let me know in the comments below, because personally, I'm all about those addictive gameplay loops, and if you feel the same way, hit that button and subscribe for more Switch 2 coverage and gaming insights. See you guys next time.